Es hora de analizar Ben 10 Ultimate Alien Galactic Racing, un juegazo lleno de alienígenas con varias pistas espectaculares que nos llevará a recorrer varias partes del universo con muchos peligros. Siendo el quinto videojuego de Ben 10, déjame decirte que este es el más traicionero, ya que así como tiene sus cosas buenas, también tiene sus cosas malas. Yo te tengo que mencionar que he estado preparando varias sorpresas, así que es un buen momento para decirte que la tercera temporada del mes frío queda abierta.
Hola, muy buenas a todos, yo soy Ben Tennyson y bienvenidos al mes frío en el canal de Frío 10.000.
Ben 10 Galactic Racing tenía algo especial, era un videojuego que no constaba con una historia, y aunque en su versión de DS tenía algo similar a esto, déjame decirte que sería un insulto tomarlo en serio, ya que su historia termina siendo pobre y sin sentido. Mientras realizaba el video pensaba que el no tener una historia sería una de las cosas más malas que podía tener este videojuego, pero me di cuenta que en realidad un juego de carreras no necesita una historia en sí. Esto no es un Crash Team Racing, es más un Mario Kart. Aquí solo necesitas elegir un personaje, un carro y a correr por todo el universo. Los hermanos Bridle aparecerán en el juego como una especie de guías, los cuales serán los encargados de darnos un pequeño vistazo de los peligros que enfrentaremos en los planetas, que déjame decirte serán muchos. Es buenísimo que el juego te permita visitar algunos de los planetas de nuestros alienígenas favoritos, y es que a lo largo de cada Grand Prix podemos visitar diferentes áreas de los planetas de frío, acuático, bestia, Primus y hasta el vacío nulo. Hay que recalcar que cada Grand Prix te pondrá a prueba, haciendo de cada carrera un reto más difícil, compuesto por 3 pistas que serán más difíciles según vayamos avanzando. La aventura comenzará en el inhóspito y gélido Calmais, el planeta de frío, donde junto a varios alienígenas nos comenzaremos a dar chingadazos desde el inicio. Al ser la primera pista nos hará cometer muchos errores. Tus habilidades mezcladas con la de tu personaje y tu carro serán súper importantes, ya que el juego nos engaña. En Pisces, el planeta de acuático, el drifting será súper importante, ya que al hacerlo bien nos permitirá subir una barra, con la cual ganaremos un empuje para salir con más velocidad. Te sentirás como Vin Etanol en esta pista, pero en Bullpin te darán una cucharada de la cruda realidad. Esta es una de las pistas más difíciles del juego, en la cual tus pocas habilidades en el volante y el manejo del drift te meterán en problemas. En pocas palabras, los alienígenas abusarán de ti.
¿Sabes? Diría ¡abuso!
La capacidad de arruinar una carrera es algo magnífico que poseen los juegos de carrera, con los famosos comodines aleatorios que juegan con nuestra suerte, a veces a favor y a veces en contra. En Galactic Racing aparecen en forma del símbolo del Omnitrix. Los mejores para mí son el modo supremo, el cual libera todos los poderes y te hace inmune a todo tipo de amenazas. El Omni Splash de amenaza acuática, el cual es un ataque teledirigido que hará volar a tus enemigos por los aires. El Way Bigger de muy grande, que te permite reducir a la mitad a todos los demás corredores en la pista y reducir su velocidad máxima. O el increíble Enemy Bind de Wildbind, que crea una pared de hiedra en la pista, la cual es bastante difícil de pasar, pero se puede. Como dato, si lo rodeas puedes zafarte de este. Existen otro tipo de poderes que son menos efectivos que otros, pero igual sirven para arruinarte la carrera, como el impulso electromagnético de Lodestar que golpea todo al que estés cerca, el Spectrum Blast de piedra que ciega temporalmente con un arco iris del infierno, o algunos pedazos de diamante, símbolos falsos del Omnitrix y restos de guba insectoide que te harán perder pista. Todos estos son factores buenísimos que se han sabido adaptar perfectamente con los alienígenas de Ben, que aunque algunos no estén en el videojuego, la representación de sus poderes basta y sobra, ya que correspondiente a los personajes del juego nos presentará 15. Al principio no tendremos a todos, ya que mediante vayamos avanzando en los Grand Prix podremos ir desbloqueándolos. Aquí tendremos la oportunidad de usar a 3 supremos, HUMUNGOUSAUR, Eco y el debut finalmente de Cannonball, el cual es el único alienígena que se puede bajar de su carro. Ben y Kevin se suman junto a Vilgax y Fantasmático. Ahora entre los aliens normales tenemos a Fuego, Cuatro Brazos, Frío, Fuego Pantanoso, Mono Araña, Amperi y Fast Track, el alienígena más incomprendido de Ben 10. I love you. Te había mencionado que el juego es muy engañoso. Este nos se va regalándonos el primer Grand Prix, dejándonos quedar en primer lugar casi en todas las carreras. Este nos hace pensar que somos lo suficientemente buenos como para afrontar los demás retos, y déjame decirte que no. Las pistas se vuelven más rudas, los enemigos se tornan más pesados, el universo se confabula para darte un par de estate quietos. Cada vez es más difícil terminar de primero, y si eso no fuera suficiente nos presentan la pista del vacío nulo, una belleza que te volverá loco. Todo está hecho para confundirte. Este es el reto que esperas como conductor alienígena. A Primus solo volvemos para que nos den un portazo en la cara, pero no importa, recibimos el trofeo del tercer lugar y seguimos, o al menos lo intentamos. El juego nos dice que no podemos seguir avanzando siendo tan noobs. Este es un punto buenísimo. En cierta parte del juego nos pide ciertos requisitos como haber quedado primero en algunas pistas o tener una cantidad específica de trofeos en primer lugar, lo que te obligará a volver a tus inicios. Pero ya no como un noob, vuelves como un mortal para terminar perfeccionando tus habilidades y descubriendo trucos que antes se te pasaban, como el de usar poderes de ataque y defensa que todos los personajes poseen, o desbloquear autos y personajes que en serio te van a ayudar en las futuras carreras. El juego está hecho para que lo repitas las veces necesarias sin aburrirte. Es un placer volver a los inicios y darle una paliza a los demás. La pista, la banda sonora, la belleza de cada pista que vive y se vuelve más peligrosa, como los necrofrigianos de Killmis que intentan congelarte, los gases tóxicos de Vulpes que cada vez son más frecuentes en las pistas, las cucarachas voladoras de Primus y las plantas carnívoras del ecosistema que te harán la carrera más difícil, y hasta los guardianes del vacío nulo, que sí o sí te vas a comer un rayo láser. Todo se une para ser más épico y para que te conviertas en el fucking amo. El juego te mete una enviciada total cuando descubres que mientras mejor lo haces, mejores recompensas te dan. Teniendo 15 pistas y varios modos de juegos, Ben 10 Galactic Racing es un juegazo. La combinación de todos los factores de este videojuego me ha sorprendido mucho. A diferencia de Cosmic Destruction, que era mi juego favorito y me terminó decepcionando, de este juego, el cual no esperaba nada, me terminó sorprendiendo. Yo le otorgo el tercer lugar en la lista de los mejores juegos de Ben 10, ya que creo que este es el primer resumen el cual no tiene nada malo, o al menos yo no le encontré nada malo. ¿Tú lo pondrías más arriba de Cosmic Destruction o crees que se encuentra en un buen lugar? Te leo en los comentarios. El siguiente juego es el primero de Ben 10 Omniverse, que lastimosamente nunca lo terminé de jugar, por lo que temporalmente nos saltaremos al primer juego del reboot. Un juegazo que el otro día lo volví a jugar y en realidad me sorprendió mucho. En fin, yo te dejo con algunos de los comentarios de los hermanos Bridle de los planetas que me resultaron bastante interesantes, ya que nos cuentan algunos datos que son cronológicos para la saga de Ultimate Alien. Yo le mando un saludo muy grande a estas personas. Yo soy Frío y conmigo serán hasta la próxima. Adiós.
Here we are at Blizzard Ridge, starting point for the beginner's luck circuit. This here is the ice planet Kilmus. Necrophrygians like Big Till call this place home. Personally, I find its climatory landscape to be a mite inhospitable. Besides Kilmus, this circuit will also take us to the water world of Passus and the garbage dump of the universe, Vulpin.
Hey, remember when we was going to repo that ship on Vulpin and I found that perfectly good pair of underwear just a-floating in the sludge?
Boyd.
I'm wearing them right now. Can you believe the things people throw away?
Boyd, do you recall us conversating recently about your lack of focus and its tendency to distract from the task at hand?
Ooh, look, shiny object. Here I go over here now.
As I was saying, Blizzard Ridge is so named on account of this here ridge, where the wind and snow could send racers flying off into the chasm. And if the folks make it past the blizzard, they'll drive forthwith into this here cave, where these so-called...
I think you mean pointy ice thingies.
stalactites are precipitating every which way all over the road. It is surely gonna take some adroit driving skills to get past those bad boys.
Now, here's a picturesque planet. Look at all them oceans, Octagon.
I'd rather not, Boyd. I'm suffering from a touch of the... kinetosis.
Well, I don't know. Your breath don't smell no worse than usual.
Seasickness, dang it. Just get us through this thing. Oh, so the race can start.
If and you say so. First, they's a racing through some turns that go up and down and around.
Boyd.
And then the racers is gonna go over a bootsy jump and get way up yonder high where they can see them rolling waves a-tossing and a-turning.
Wrong, Boyd.
Then they's a-gonna come a-whipping around and whoosh right over another one of them whoopsie-daisy jumps.
Boyd.
And then it's into the final turn, where the water's just a-flowing in them slidey boosts that rock back and forth and back and forth. Fine. If and that's the way y'all feels about my narrative type skills, Octagon, you just go and do it yourself next time.
Them there piles of decaying detritus mean we find ourselves on the planet Vulpin. This place is a dump for every type of nastiness imaginable and then some. Vulpamancers like wild mutt come from hereabouts. No accounting for taste. I find the smell to be somewhat distressing on one's nasal cavities.
Oh, so that's what that is. I know them beans we had for lunch ain't a-sitting well with you, so...
Boyd, that would fall under the category of what you might call too much information. Anyhow, Vulpin is also home to a little track we call Toxic Tunnels. Shortly after the start, there's a mighty tricky crisscross with jumps that make racers pass each other in midair. And they continue crisscrossing until they come back together after a big old clover leaf.
When everybody's back on the same track again, they all jump into one of them sludge holding facilities. Jumping over sludge could make for some good old smash-ups, ain't that right, Octagon?
Indeed, Boyd, indeed. Now, after that, it's one more ginormous jump, and then smooth sailing. Until the next lap starts, anyway. You have anything to add, Boyd?
Oh, yeah. About them beans.
Let's just start the race, Boyd. Howdy, folks, and welcome to Frozen Freeway, the first track in the circuit that folks around these parts call Freezeway Jungle.
Do you reckon they calls it that on account of kill miss being a tad bit on the bone-chillingly cold side?
I do reckon that is correct, Boyd. But this circuit will take us yonder to the Null Void and Primus, too.
Oh, well, that's good, 'cause prison dimensions and jungles with mechanical mosquitoes as big as your head is so much better.
You through complaining so's I can resume commentating?
Not yet. Okay, now I'm through.
Good. So, trickiest part of this go-round is these here ramp jump doohickeys. Hitting that there trigger makes them go up and down, and if you hit one whilst it's up, you get yourself to the shortcut. But if some folk goes and hits the trigger while you're jumping, well, let's just say the outcome will be less than serendipitous, what with the perilous drop to your doom and all. The Null Void, a dimension created by the Galvin to be a big old prison. This place is home to the kinds of unpleasant folks that'd make even the likes of you and me, Boyd, call for help from the plumbers.
Or they can call for help from us, should we ever graduate from the Plumber Academy.
True enough. Stranger things have come to pass. Now, what y'all might not know is the Null Void is also home to some of the preeminent racetracks in the galaxy, including this one here, Drill Base Drag. The track is sometimes force field, sometimes asteroid, and all the times arduous to cling to.
Yeah, it's also real hard to stay on.
Once the racers get themselves to D-Void's drill base, they got to make a crucial decision. Either go left and stay safe, or break right and take the shorter but much more inclined to cause your demise route. In the end, there's a lot of jumping and just trying not to fall off until the very last jump drops all the racers right at what is known in the nomenclature as the finish line.
I's a mite disappointed they doesn't just blow up real good when they fall.
Truer words were never spoken, Boyd, but sometimes falling into an endless void must suffice. Let's get her started. The Null Void, a dimension created by the Galvin to be a big old prison. This place is home to the kinds of unpleasant folks that'd make even the likes of you and me, Boyd, call for help from the plumbers.
Or they can call for help from us, should we ever graduate from the Plumber Academy.
True enough. stranger things have come to pass. Now, what y'all might not know is the null void is also home to some of the preeminent racetracks in the galaxy, including this one here, Drill Base Drag. The track is sometimes force field, sometimes asteroid, and all the times arduous to cling to.
Yeah, it's also real hard to stay on.
Once the racers get themselves to D-Void's drill base, they got to make a crucial decision. Either go left and stay safe, or break right and take the shorter but much more inclined to cause your demise route. In the end, there's a lot of jumping and just trying not to fall off until the very last jump drops all the racers right at what is known in the nomenclature as the finish line.
I's a mite disappointed they doesn't just blow up real good when they fall.
Truer words were never spoken, Boyd, but sometimes falling into an endless void must suffice. Let's get her started. Welcome to Primus once again, where the participants are about to circumnavigate the course known as Jungle Run. Now, some folks have been speculating that Primus is the fabled home of the codon stream, from whence Ben Tennyson's Ultimatrix gets its DNA to turn him into alien creatures and what have you.
Now, I gotta tell you, I find that mighty hard to believe.
As do I, Boyd. Some folks will believe anything, but they ain't educated like us. Now, the racers is going to traverse into the tunnels near the volcano. Inside, they can stick the main road or take a more dangerous shortcut to the left, where they run the risk of encountering said fabled codon stream up close and personal like.
By which you mean get stuck in?
I do indeed. When they gets into the jungle, it's a pretty straight shot right on back to the start.
Listen, you count them snappy plants and them giant mechanical mosquito things what's a-shooting up the track.
Well, yes, those could be a mite hazardous, I expect. We are here presently at the start of the Wet Wasteland Circuit.
And this time, we gets to go to Vulpine and the Null Void, too.
That's right, Boyd. Incineration and incarceration is in our future. Not the first time. But for now, we're on Pisces at the aptly named Pisces Falls track. That there titleization comes from waterfalls like these here. And steering through them is indeed a challenge.
Then there's some more flowing water and a crazy curve what gives you a great view of the ocean. Would you looky there? Not that that would appeal to you, Octagon, what with your weak stomach and all.
Ooh. Then it's open road and a couple more waterfalls leading up to one heck of a gut-busting jump to the finish. I got a feeling this race is gonna be a fun one to watch, Boyd. No tour of Vulpine would be complete without a trip through the waste processing plants. Actually, no tour of Vulpine doesn't include garbage of some fashion.
Garbage Gauntlet lets the racers get close enough to smell it.
It is a mighty difference. Just round from the start, the racers get introduced to the garbage mover system. They got to dodge all the junk that's teleporting in from the other junk movers on the planet while driving against the belt. Then, oh boy, you gotta check this one out.
Oh, I know. Then there's this big crane, see? And they can hit the switch and boom, baby! Up go the other racers right over the edge. Blowed up real good.
You seem to get a great deal of pleasure out of other folks' pain, Boyd.
Is that wrong?
Racing in the Null Void has what you might call its ups and downs. And that is never more true than on this here track. Dimension Dementia. The racers is making waves right from the start when they go through these bumpy bits. Around the next corner, it's up to the sideways asteroid and back down again.
Oh! I just got your up and down joke, Octagon. Because the track goes up and down. I is smart.
I'm pleased that my clever play on words did not go unnoticed, but Boyd, I'm afraid the joke is on the racers this time. On account of while they still all disorientated, the boosted jump drops them smack dab in the middle of some of them no guardians.
Whew, that's gonna be some fireworks, that is.
And then up comes another twisty section to turn them all about before they takes that final jump to the finish. Oh, I tell you, Boyd, the no Boyd ain't for no sissies. Here we are on Kilmes again, folks. This here track is called Tidal Tundra. Tell them about it, Boyd.
I'd be happy to, Octagon. Well, seems this place weren't always the frozen armpit of the universe such as it is now. Would you believe it was once a paradise all tropical-like?
That is, in fact, an accurate statement. All the tracks here are laid down right smack on top of a frozen ocean that tain't exactly what you'd call stable. There's some jumping and twisting right at the start, but that's the easy portion of what is otherwise dubious terrain.
Now, this here part would appear to be a mite more tricky.
Indeed it does, Boyd. The racing contingent must time their passage across these plates judiciously. When they get across, racers drive right smack up the face of a frozen wave and then down through some twisted turny parts to get themselves back from whence they started. This'll be a fun one to watch, I reckon. Here we are back on Pisces at a track heretofore known as the Agitator.
Which, coincidentally, was Octagon's nickname during our time at the Plumbers Academy.
What have I told you about non sequiturs, Boyd?
That, I don't know what that means.
That is correct.
Yes.
The racers head right for the underwater sections from the start, sweeping through tubes that, if they done broke, would make for a bunch of what you might call drowned participants. The track gets its appellation from these filtration agitators that, what with the water moving and all, make for a truly challenging driving experience. After surviving that predicament, it's back up topside whence the racers sweep through a wide bank with a couple of tricky waterfalls before heading right back on to where it all started. Here's one for you, Boyd. What flings you inside a volcano, drags you through piles of garbage, and leads you to fend for yourself in the icy cold reaches of a hostile spatial dimension?
Darla, my date to the 5th grade dance?
I remember her. But I was talking about our next circuit. It's called Volcano Void. And we's here at the first track, Codon Caldera.
Woo, this one's a doozy right from the start when the racers go a-jumping straight through the side of the volcano. Yee-haw!
There's a road in there, by the slimmest of definitions, but it's what you might call a tad unstable. Chunks is always breaking off it when racers drive across.
That codon down below ought to blow up 'em real good.
If they makes it out the other side, it's down the hill and through the codon tubes.
And then it's back to the jungle where some of them plants and giant mosquito thingamabobs is blocking the way to the end.
Rubble Ramble would be accurately descriptive of any perambulation around this here planet, but it's also the name of this particular track. It don't take long to get to the first sludge holding tank. There are a lot of them on this planet, plenty of sludge to hold. And trust me, you do not want to miss a jump and fall in.
Ooh, don't I know it, brother. But it seemed like a good way to cool off a trifle.
P.U. Not to worry, they drain these sludge tubes for the race. Mostly. Yeah, you still have to drive through some, avoiding trash as you go. Then just past the sludge zone, there's some garbage movers to navigate. Then, past the conveyor type belts, it's an all-out sprint right on back to the finish. Ready, Boyd?
Mm-hmm. Let's get this race a-going.
The thing about the null void is that it is most assuredly a twisted and dangerous place. And this track they call null avoidance is a clear substantiation of my point. No sooner do the racers leave the start than bang, upside down.
Now that's just plain disorientating.
Do tell. And then, before they gets used to the upside being down, the track gets all twistified. Then there's a jump, which is an amusing way to pass the time, I must admit. But then they gets to this travesty of an asteroid what's shot full of holes. I suspect many a racer has fallen and gone flying right into space through them holes.
Woo! I, for one, cannot wait to see that eventuality.
Well, you won't have to wait for long, Boyd, 'cause here we go right presently. Well, here we are back on Kilmus for the start of the circuit folks call Ice Water Expanse.
We's going to Wet World and Trash World too on this course.
Or Pisces and Vulcan, as those two planets' indigenous life forms do tend to prefer. There are most certainly some long jumps at the start, and then the precipitation rears its ugly head, pelting folks with unseasonably blizzard-like conditions. After that, it's into another one of them unstable stalactite caves.
And then, straight through this here teleporter apparatus, what'll take them back up to the start.
This track is called Wave Runner, and it's the epitome of Piscean engineering prowess.
Yeah, buddy.
You don't know what I'm saying, do you, Boyd? You just humor me by saying, yeah, buddy, ain't you?
Yeah, buddy.
All right, then. I am appeased. This here track has some interesting and devious features, like a double trigger section where the racers can what is known in the parlance as grief each other by switching what airlocks open.
And these here jumps land you right smack in the H2O if and you don't stick to the sides.
But the real kick in the pants, for those who have pants, is the wave generating device in this here tunnel. Them sections is constantly in motion, so folks got to stay on their toes to steer a successful course.
My driving instructor specifically said for me not to steer with my toes no more, Octagon, no matter how good at it I was.
That was just what you'd call a figure of speech, Boyd.
No, I think he meant it. Toby don't tell no lies.
Apparently, there's more than Vulpamancers living here on Vulpan, and folks is about to find out exactly what. On account of they's living right here on the track we call Trash and Twist. After a few twists and turns of the parabolic variety, the road takes you right into Serpent Junction.
Vulpin serpents. Whew! Now there's something that'll put you in a tailspin.
They do make one doozy of a challenge, and all the paths are guarded, so they're all dangerous.
This here crane is powerful dangerous too. If that hits folks, they'll be smacked around real good.
The last stretch before our worthy competitors push on to the finish line is this twisted, turny pipe thingamabob. There's two to pick from, and you can bet there'll be wrecks galore.
I do love me some good wreckage. Let's get started so we can get with the wrecking.
Yee-haw! This here is the Infinity Circuit, the penultimate perambulation in our pan-galactic racing soiree.
The who with the what now?
Oh, Romboid, the next to last circuit in the game.
You see, that's what I thought you meant.
We're gonna get out the Kilmus and the Null Void a little later. But first, we's gonna do a little turnaround of Primus track called Codon Climb. Starting in this here underground cave, the racers will slither their way up through a bunch of crisscross paths and then head on out to the surface.
And then they go over a big old crevasse and then round a bunch of codon geysers.
Geysers.
That's what I said.
And then bingo, they is back from whence they started. Sounds easy, but it's just a warm-up for what's a-coming up in the rest of the circuit.
Well, if they ain't no geysers, then how come we's playing bingo?
Oh, Boyd. Here we are, folks, at the biggest, baddest track on all of Kilmus, Necro-Phrygian Valley.
Now, I don't know how, but them necrophrygians actually live in this place. Man, they got cities and everything, and they're a-flying all over willy-nilly like the cold don't even bother them none. Aliens is so strange, huh, Octagon?
An acute observation, Boyd.
Oh, well, thanks, you're cute too, Octagon.
Never mind. We's gonna start off in the mountains with quite a numerous contingent of twists, turns, and jumps. One of them has the racers landing on an ice bridge. It don't look too stable though, now does it? Hope it is not the cause of undue tragedy. Then it's on down through the corkscrew, which should make for some mighty fine drifting, if you're into that kind of thing.
'Cause if you ain't a good at drifting, why, you sure as heck better be good at crashing. Woo, I do loves me a good crash. Getting to see a whole bunch of crashes will even make it worth standing around in this powerful cold. Now, if I could only feel my fingers.
The final challenge is to make it past a passel of angry necrophrygians. Don't know what they so mad about.
I know, pick me.
Boyd.
Yes. On account of they was a-trying to read all peace and quiet like until all these race cars started a-roaring past right outside their windows.
I will accept your conjecture, Boyd, though I do doubt its validity. Well, then it's through the ruins of the city and straight up the mountain to the finish line. Boyd, you can put your hand down now.
I can't, Octagon. It's frozen up there. But you just go ahead and call on me for something else anytime you want to again. I'll be ready.
The null void insanity is showcasified here on the track we like to call the Guardian Gauntlet. Tell him about it, Boyd.
I'd be happy to, Octagon. Right at the beginning, there's this loopy corkscrewy thingy that gets folks all turned about. And then there's a couple of jumps that's pretty okay, even the big old one that makes you feel like you're never coming down again.
If we's lucky, some of them might not.
But then, them null guardians show up. And if you ain't a good driver, you're just fixing to get blowed up real good by them fellers.
One can only dare to dream of such an entertaining happenstance.
The rest of the course is a shortcut as well as some straightaways, but folks got to go around 3 whole times.
I sure is glad we're just announcifying and not racing. I do like watching carts crash and get blowed up, but we've been blowed up too many times ourselves, and it ain't as pleasant an experience as one might